new changes from what's next for Cleveland's mayor to minimum wage hikes and everything in between. We'll tell you what Northeast Ohioans need to prepare for in 2021.
You have to pick and choose what pieces you actually want and then intentionally structure around that.
Keeping those New Year resolutions, the structures you need to put in place now so you don't quit before spring. And overrule the latest act from Congress that overrides a veto from President Trump. Unfinished business. Ohio State and Clemson arrive at the Sugar Bowl looking for redemption. Our Nick Camino breaks down what to expect on the field. Then, our Mike Polk joins us with all the reasons you shouldn't listen to that pesky voice in your head telling you the Browns won't make it to the playoffs. What's new starts right now.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Good evening and happy 2021, everyone. This is a live look at Rockefeller Center right now, where many people are skating their way into the new year. That's a pretty cool tradition there. Thanks for watching What's New, everyone. I'm Romney Smith with Laura Caso. Jay and Betsy have the night off.
Happy New Year to you, Romney, and all of you at home. Thank you so much for joining us on this very first day of 2021. And Romney, a new year brings new changes. Here in Northeast Ohio, they will impact our lives in ways big and small. Our Mark Namick breaks down a few of those changes headed our way.
Cleveland. It drives the region from the look of our lakefront and airport to the employers who call it home to how we live and play downtown. 2021 will test the leadership of the city as voters potentially replace Mayor Frank Jackson after 16 years in office.
Without substantive and sustainable institutional change, we will never become a great city.
His leadership already drawing criticism and potential challengers.
If you don't know how to do things, then get out.
New census numbers will force the size of Cleveland City Council and others to shrink, limiting our accessibility to government. Change of leadership also coming to the Greater Cleveland Partnership, the region's most influential business group known for driving the renovations of stadiums and public square. The group also behind efforts to woo political conventions and companies like Amazon. Hourly workers across the state will see their paychecks grow 10 cents an hour as minimum wage changes kick in. Ohio's grace period to renew an expired driver's license or registration ends July 1st. Plastic bags won't disappear from grocery stores in Cuyahoga County or other communities that passed legislation to ban them. A state law signed last year blocks such bans through September. Ohio lawmakers begin work on its next 2-year operating budget due this summer. The first budget to confront the effects of a pandemic economy and expected to reduce funding for services across the board. But the biggest changes we'll all experience in the new year are still tied to the pandemic and related restrictions, which aren't expected to be lifted anytime soon, though officials are counting on improved vaccine distribution to give us all hope that 2021 will be a better year. I'm Mark Namick, 3 News.
Now on your feed at 5, for the first time in 8 years, Congress overrode President Trump's veto. He recently vetoed the military spending bill because it allowed military bases honoring Confederate figures to be renamed. It also doesn't reform liability protections for social media companies. Also, during today's rare New Year's Day session, the Senate rejected a vote on the House bill to increase stimulus checks to $2,000.
A huge chunk would essentially be socialism for rich people, money flowing to households earning well into 6 figures, who did not lose any jobs or income last year.
This is it, the last chance for the 116th Congress to pass $2,000 checks and to say to regular Americans, help is on the way.
The new 117th Congress will need to find another way. Also today, the U.S. passed 20 million COVID cases. The U.S. has nearly 1/4 of the more than 83 million cases worldwide.
Switching gears now to football. Tonight, it's a big night for the Ohio State. The Buckeyes are facing Clemson in the Sugar Bowl, and some would call this a redemption battle. Our Nick Camino is here with what to expect on the field. Hi, Nick.
Hey, good evening, Laura. Happy New Year to you. Yeah, grab some popcorn tonight for this one. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. I think there's going to be some fireworks tonight between Clemson and Ohio State. These teams do not like each other very much. There's some history there, and we know recently Clemson has had the upper hand. But these two teams, like I said, they just don't like each other. It's as simple as that. They're not rivals, but they've played enough recently. There's been some trash talk. We all remember the heartbreaker last year for Ohio State, such a close game with some controversial calls. And this year, again, plenty of motivation for the Buckeyes, not only trying to reach the national championship in this unprecedented year, but you had Clemson head coach Dabo Swinney recently rank Ohio State number 11 in the coaches poll. So there's some bad blood here. Revenge on the minds of Ohio State, as you mentioned, Laura. And so we'll see what happens. They're also an underdog in this game. The Buckeyes a 7.5-point underdog. And I can tell you that the winner of this game will take on the winner of Notre Dame and Alabama. Right now, Alabama beating the Fighting Irish 14-0. So either way, Ohio State's got their work cut out for them, whether they have it with Clemson or maybe against Alabama next week.
All right, so I have my popcorn ready, and I also want to wish you a Happy New Year as well. Nick, thanks.
Got it. You got it.
Well, today is when we all get motivated to set resolutions and get a fresh start on life. So we want to know how long your motivation lasts. Tell us how long you actually keep your New Year's resolutions in the WKYC Twitter poll. So far, surprisingly, most of you guys are saying you're lucky if you last a week, followed by 3 months. So Laura, I have to ask, first, do you make resolutions? And if you do, can you keep it longer than a week?
This is a good question and a tough one. I am a little bit surprised by your poll, too. So I usually do make them. I really don't know how long I keep them, but you know what's funny is that I made one for 2021 to kind of let the anxiety go of 2020, and I already ruined it this morning while talking on the phone with my sister, and I had to recheck in with myself to say, come on, it hasn't even been a day. What about you, Romney?
But it's the first day. It's okay. It's the first day. You can still wipe that slate clean. I do set resolutions. I have one that I've made for years that I love, and it's actually to do one new thing I've never done every month. COVID kind of put a twist on that, and that was stay at home for months, but I hope to pick that up this year. It makes life interesting to figure out what's cool in your community. Also today, we're going to make sure that you guys, for any resolution, goal, or change that you want, that you'll stick with it. Here's how. I actually spoke with an expert who had some really great productivity tips that could help us all. Allison Rodman is a wife, mother, author, business owner, and a professional learning consultant. She's researched adult education and productivity and knows all too well why many resolutions fail.
Because I think sometimes we jump on the resolutions, wagon, and we get some really, really great ideas in place. But then when we don't back them up with some systems and some structures, they fall apart pretty quickly.
Rodman says you can be successful, whether it's trying to lose weight, stick to a new eating plan, launch a new business, or be more productive with your time. But it's too much to do everything at once.
What are the 3 that you're going to tackle in January or during the first quarter of the new year in a way that feels manageable? So by the time the end of March rolls around, you can say, yes, I did that.
As you add goals, be thoughtful and realistic about what sacrifice it will take to accomplish.
We've got to also say, well, what are you going to give up? What are you going to take away? So is it that you're going to stop watching that show late at night so that you've got more time to read?
Rodman says anyone can implement systems to be more productive, and her website offers free webinars and a digital course to help you maximize your time.
How do you use your time? How do you say no to certain things, but then also take advantage of some of the opportunities that come your way? So it's really intended for working professionals to make you think more carefully about the pieces that are finding their way into your daily routines.
Now, when you think of it, no major change comes at once. It's usually the product of daily changes that kind of compound over time when you have the right system in place. And I think one thing a lot of people would like in 2021 is to be more productive, whether it's getting a system in place to balance family and work, or still grow your career, or how to lose weight, or write a book, really anything. And Laura, I have a link to her website because I know a lot of us have goals that we really want to achieve this year. And we can evaluate if the system we have in place will make it happen. One thing I love that she said that I hadn't thought of is we often try to add things to our plate instead of pausing and saying, what are we going to get rid of to accommodate for that new goal?
Yeah, that is a really good point. I have to say, though, I'm going to steal your resolution. I love it. do something new
Thank
every
you.
month. I'm stealing
That's
it.
right.
So there we have it. And if you have any ideas at home of something to
I'm
do
gonna
around
extra.
here, tweet me at Laura Reports. I'm into it. Romney, thanks. All right, next on What's New, Mike Polk is keeping our spirits up and the dream of the Browns making it to the playoffs alive. He gives us all a pep talk and likeliness of the Browns making it to the playoffs. And online dating, it became super popular during the pandemic. So now this Sunday could be the biggest day for it yet. We'll tell you why. Also, Matt Standridge is in today. All right, Matt, what's up in the forecast?
Hey, Laura, 2021 started off terrible in the weather department. I mean, we had freezing rain and rain. I want to show you live what it looks like in downtown from a CSU cam. Lots of low clouds, foggy conditions, mist. Now, this will linger throughout the rest of the evening hours. There is some hope tomorrow. We may have a few showers in the morning, and then we'll start to clear out for the rest of your Saturday when your forecast is coming up.
Welcome back. 2020 wasn't kind to a lot of people, but one thing that actually went well, the 2020 Cleveland Browns season. We are so close to the playoffs right now, but you know, sometimes there's that little nagging voice in your head saying we're not going to make it. Well, our Mike Polk gives you all the reasons you need to ignore that pesky voice.
Big game this weekend, folks. And speaking personally, I remain confident that the Browns are going to take care of business and lock up their first playoff berth since 2002.
Yeah, right. You know they're going to blow it.
Quiet. I also recognize that, as Browns fans, many of us still have an annoying voice in the back of our heads that's constantly trying to create doubt and insecurity. You know what I'm talking about.
They're just going to break your heart again.
No, it's different this year. First and foremost, I want to assure you that you should not feel bad about hearing that nagging voice. Based on our team's traumatic history and the remarkable consistency with which they've let us down over the past 2 decades, it would actually be weirder if we were confident in our team.
They'd already be in if they could have beaten the terrible Jets last week.
Okay, that's not fair. We had no receiver. Not letting it get to me. As I was saying, I have total confidence that we will win this week. I mean, Roethlisberger isn't even starting, so that's a huge advantage.
Just think how much more embarrassing it'll be if Mason Rudolph keeps them out of the playoffs.
Okay, that is not going to happen. He stinks.
The Jaguars almost beat you with Mike Glennon.
That was a fluke. Glennon was hot that day. You know what? I'm not going to do this. Even if we were to somehow lose on Sunday, which I do not think we will.
What if the game comes down to a Cody Parkey field goal?
Ugh, I know. I thought about that. No, stop. In the unlikely event that the Browns do lose, that would still not technically eliminate them from the playoffs.
Sounds like you're hedging your bets.
No, I am confident. I just researched this for other Browns fans who might be less confident than I am. Okay, as you can see here, even if we did lose on Sunday, if the Colts lose or tie to the Jaguars, the Browns are still in.
You're right.
It could happen. Even if it doesn't, we could still easily cruise into the postseason with this extremely plausible scenario in which Tennessee loses and both Miami and Baltimore either win or tie. It's just that simple.
You reek of desperation.
Oh, as if I don't know that! I understand why Browns fans are still a little on edge about this. We've earned it. But surely we can all agree that we have made some major strides this season. They've been consistently fun to watch and a very welcome distraction during this, the utter abomination that has been the year 2020, and for that, I am thankful. So just keep it in perspective, folks. If I had told you back in August that in the last week of the regular season, the Browns would have a chance to advance to the playoffs by beating the Steelers at home, we'd all be feeling pretty good about that. So regardless of what happens, I'm just appreciative that for the first time in a long time, the last game of the season is meaningful. And, if nothing else, I got to see my team win at least 10 games for the first time since 2007.
Hey, that team also didn't make the playoffs.
All right. So just ignore that little voice in your head this weekend and enjoy the game. Happy New Year and go Browns.
Gotta love Mike Polk and his creativity there. Laura, I'm sure you're with me when you say you can just feel the momentum of the Browns and the energy the city is putting behind them. I feel pretty good that they're going to advance to the playoffs. What about you?
I was going to say the same thing, and I've kind of said it from the start. I mean, what do I really know? But I feel that they are going to advance, and it's been really fun actually watching their journey. So I'm excited for it, Romney.
Yeah.
All right, let's now talk about weather, because 2021, I mean, this weather to start off, it hasn't been ideal. You did warn us, Matt Standridge, so I can't blame you there, but waking up this morning, meh.
I hope we're not setting a trend for the rest of 2021. I hope we can cut that off. But even speaking about the Browns and Mike Polk, that was hilarious. But this weekend, looking at this first weekend of 2021, the worst weather is coming in on Sunday. That already tells you there's going to be a home Browns game in the first place. But talking about the weather right now, Laura, it's been misty. There's been sprinkles and rain showers, and then earlier this morning we were cold enough for freezing rain. A lot of us got at least a small film of ice. These are some pictures from downtown. You know those two tunnels that they have of the Christmas bulbs? Well, they all started to have a coating of ice there. You're looking towards the north, towards the Old Stone Church, and then here's actually closer towards the Old Stone Church. They have the railing there on the east side of the building, and you see a little bit of that ice. The good news is that at least in downtown, the streets and sidewalks weren't too slick. It was mainly elevated surfaces, but we had some heavier ice towards the south, especially from Mansfield to Akron and Canton. The good news is that we are above that freezing mark, and we've been dealing with just rain showers for the past couple of hours. Now that freezing rain has pushed off towards the north. Low pressure is centered over northeastern Indiana, and so this thing will continue to push towards the north and east. A lot of the rain has fallen today. We still have some showers out there right now, but now we're going into this pattern where it's just going to be this nasty mist for the rest of the evening. We're watching some of the light rain showers in parts of Indiana. Those are headed right towards northeast Ohio. So we still have a ways to go with precipitation. At least the heaviest rain, though, is moving on out. Temperatures are still cool out there. We're above freezing, so we don't have to worry too much more about freezing rain. It's just a very, very cold rain. We're just above that freezing mark for most of us this evening with some of those easterly breezes. Throughout the next 12 hours, I think we'll just hover where we are. We're not going to move very much, somewhere in the mid to upper 30s overnight. So not really expecting much wintry weather overnight, and we'll try to wrap them up tomorrow morning. A couple of showers possible for Saturday morning, tomorrow morning. I do think by tomorrow afternoon we'll clear that out, and then we're kind of in this phase of just clouds and maybe a few sun peaks here and there, highs only in the upper 30s. So our temperatures temperature's really not going to move over the next 24 hours. Headed towards the lakeshore, there is a small craft advisory until noon tomorrow. Let's talk about your National Zymar hour-by-hour forecast. We're watching those rain showers move on out, and so there's still this chance for a couple sprinkles here and there overnight, and as you're headed out tomorrow morning, there might be some as well. This is Saturday, 9 o'clock. We finished the first Saturday of 2021. I think we'll end the Saturday pretty much on the drier side, but then by Sunday, another system will move on through. It's not going to be particularly strong, but we'll have a mix of rain and snow showers. The temperatures are going to be hovering right next to that freezing mark. Once again, it's these systems where we're right next to the freezing mark that get so tricky for us, but a mix of rain and snow showers possible for Sunday, and those will be on and off pretty much throughout the entire day. Looking at the Union Home Mortgage 7-day outlook, still some weather going on this weekend. Laura, it does look like by the time we get to the middle of next week, we're going to be entering this very calm pattern where temperatures are still chilly, but at least no big systems are on the way. I think the biggest system looking forward, Laura, will be Sunday. After that, we're kind of in this pattern with some clouds, peak of sunshine, stray snowflake, nothing that we can't handle.
Yeah, you're right. I was glued to that 7-day thinking of all the peaks of sun. So that is nice. It's not so bad. You know, I'm complaining about the start, but it's not so bad. We'll take it. Matt
Not
Sanders.
so bad. That's Cleveland weather.
Positive going into 2021. Matt,
That's right.
thanks. All right, still ahead for you. Have you heard of Dating Sunday? It is typically the busiest day of the year for online dating. And recent research shows it might just be the way to go if you're single. That story's coming up. Then, remember her?
Somebody stop me. She's at the fridge again. I'm at the fridge again.
So good. This Georgia singer went viral this summer for this catchy tune. Well, now she is back with a New Year's Day message.
A little help from you. Please come get her. I'm doing a little too much. She doing too much.
Welcome back. Online dating is actually ramping up as we get closer to the peak day of the year to swipe right. Our Holly Strano has tips on how to navigate the very virtual world of modern dating.
More hopeful matches are looking for love online as we approach Dating Sunday this weekend, typically the busiest day of the year for dating apps.
There's a mix of New Year's resolutions, there's maybe some post-holiday breakups, Valentine's Day is right around the corner.
An annual boost to a record-setting year for the online dating industry, which has seen dramatic growth since the start of the pandemic.
I'm nervous.
The Match app saw a 40% increase in engagement, according to Match Group, which owns a family of dating apps, including Hinge and Tinder.
This year, we're expecting Dating Sunday to be maybe the biggest day dating apps have ever seen.
Beyond more users and messages, the latest data also points to a shift in how users are connecting.
Hi.
According to popular dating app Bumble, video calls on its platform have increased by 70% since March.
Our users are really adopting something called slow dating. I'm calling it the new speed in town.
Getting creative with virtual dates to build trust online before meeting IRL. In this busy season between the holidays and Valentine's Day, Bumble's offering tips on its new dating guide, such as how to navigate the COVID conversation.
I think a key thing to keep in mind is it has to be brought on early on.
Despite the challenges of pairing up in a pandemic, Bumble's data shows daters are optimistic.
Nearly half of them believe that 2021 is the year to find love.
A new year and a new normal for dating.
All right, Romney, you might remember this summer a singer named Katie French. Her song about constantly going to the fridge while working from home got hundreds of thousands of views in August. Well, she's at it again, this time with a New Year's Day song. Check it out.
Come on, let's celebrate. Pick up your bags, no time to waste. Get up, it's time to move. Happy New Year to you.
I love it. And you know what? I'm curious to know how long it takes her to do this. She changes, the voicing, but it's really catchy and she's super talented. Just makes me want to hear more and more, right, Romney?
She is. I was going to say, Laura, you are a singer, so you have an extra appreciation for her pitch and the coordination that it takes to do this. This is an extra dose of creativity. She sounds like a church choir, kind of all wrapped up into one person, and I am a big fan.
I'm a big fan, too. Thanks for saying I'm a singer. I don't know if I'd go that far, but I don't know if I could ever do that. I mean, it's pretty special, but I'm going to go back and listen to the whole thing. It's pretty catchy.
Maybe a New Year's resolution for you to take on that challenge.
Not a bad idea.
How about that?
Wow, you're giving me all kinds of New Year's resolutions today. I need to write these down.
I got you, girl. All right, thanks, Laura. Well, still ahead on what's new. Getting in shape is usually pretty high up on the resolution list. We'll show you ways to achieve that goal without leaving your home. And a new year brings new trends. The food trends expected to take over 2021. Then, facing adversity. A local woman lost her eyesight overnight. How this new way of life actually turned into a business. And as we head to break, here's another look at Rockefeller Center, where people are ringing in the new year by ice skating. How fun.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Hey everyone, welcome back to What's New. This is a live look at Rockefeller Center. We've been showing it to you this afternoon. So many people there are starting the new year off with some ice skating, which is a really nice tradition up there. Happy New Year to you and your family. We certainly appreciate you watching. I'm Romney Smith with Laura Caso. We're in for Jay and Betsy today. Hey, Laura.
Hey, Romney. Happy New Year to you and to all of you joining us tonight. We begin with 3 things you need to know. First, the United States surpassed 20 million COVID cases today. The U.S. has nearly 1/4 of the more than 83 million cases worldwide. This comes as health officials are racing to get more Americans vaccinated. And some good news for a little boy in Hinckley who was abandoned with his dog just before Christmas. Tony is now home with his dad after spending some time in foster care. Tony's dad was not the one who abandoned him and has been cooperating with authorities, we're told. Right now, police are focusing on the boy's mom, but we are happy that he, of course, is back home with his dad tonight. And for the first time since taking office, Congress voted to overturn President Trump's veto on the military spending bill. It happened during rare New Year's Day session, a session there. The Senate passed the measure 81-13. The president vetoed the annual military spending bill because it allows military bases honoring Confederate figures to be renamed and does not reform liability protections for social media companies.
All right, let's get to our top talker. New Year's resolutions, of course, on today, and losing weight. A lot of people have that, and getting in shape is usually one of the top on the list nationwide for just about everybody. According to a survey by YouGov, 50% of Americans plan to exercise more in 2021. NBC's Liz McLaughlin shows us apps and high-tech devices that can help you meet your goals without you ever leaving home.
Gearing up to work off the quarantine 15. Many Americans had home gyms on their holiday wish lists.
My own personal gifts are exercise equipment, so I'm going to be, working out in the new year.
Some splurging for high-end devices, such as the mirror.
It's a combination of advanced camera technology and proprietary algorithms, which will give you feedback on your form, whether or not you're working out at the right level of intensity.
With thousands of live and on-demand classes, the mirror has a futuristic display that shows metrics and even other users taking the classes.
This boxing session is my 3rd time testing out the mirror, and it really feels like an in-person class. There's a built-in camera up here, and if I turn it on, the instructor can give me real-time feedback.
It's on sale for the month of January with free white glove delivery at a pricey $1,400. Which is still $500 cheaper than the popular Peloton bike.
What's up, Peloton?
But the Peloton app is a more affordable option, with workouts that don't require the bike for $13 a month. Though tech is making access to fitness easier, sticking with the resolution can still be difficult.
Diets don't work.
That's where Noom aims to help, an app that takes a psychological approach to weight loss.
With the help of human coaching and AI, we help you better understand yourself and your brain.
With short daily sessions to help users take small steps toward big goals.
Don't rush into it. Just know that everything takes time. You can stick with it for real.
A method that aims to turn New Year's resolutions into lifelong changes. Liz McLaughlin, NBC News.
Now, you have to keep in mind that both the Peloton and the Mirror require a monthly fee of about $40 to get access to the class library, which is extensive. For Apple Watch owners, if you have one, Apple recently launched its Fitness Plus app for about $10 a month. And of course, there are plenty of free apps to stream workouts like Nike Run Club, Glow, Tone It Up, and there are many others. Just search the App Store, your iOS store. Laura, I have to say, those devices look pretty cool. I have a lot of friends who have the Peloton and they love it, but I prefer sometimes an old-fashioned walk with a friend like we used to do a long time ago.
We used to do that. Should we just bundle up and start again? Mask up, bundle up, social distance.
Yes,
that really was nice. I agree. You know, a lot of people love Peloton and other things, and I have thought, should I jump on the bandwagon? But, you know, there are some great apps, and there's always the great outdoors, too, if you're looking for that resolution. Either way, it's a great thing. All right,
Absolutely.
Romney.
Whatever works for people.
Exactly. I agree with you. And, you know, another big New Year's resolution is to increase financial health. According to the Financial Health Network, in 2020, 2/3 of Americans were not considered financially healthy. Lending Club released these tips to stay financially fit. It includes taking a look at your spending habits to identify if you are living within your means. Create a budget every month and stick to it. Identify ways to save, decrease your overall debt load, and plan and invest in your future. They say taking small, concrete steps can make a daunting resolution achievable.
Coming up next on What's New, life threw a local woman a major curveball, but she refused to let it define her. We have her incredible story of strength coming up. Then we have some of the hottest spots to check out the winter right here in Northeast Ohio. And Matt, what's going on with the weather outside?
Hey Romney, it's great to see you. It has been kind of just a nasty first start to 2021. Sprinkles, drizzle, you're looking live on the CSU cam. Folks have had to have their headlights on all day long because the rain has been pretty much here all day long. The good news is that it's starting to taper away, but now we just have drizzle and mist the rest of the evening. We're gonna let you know when that'll quit. We'll also let you know when your next chance of snow will be, and it's not too far away. That's all coming up.
Welcome back. This is a live look at snow coming down in Milwaukee. You can clearly see the white stuff coating every roof in sight. Matt, this is absolutely beautiful, but selfishly, I'm kind of glad that ours has come and then gone. What do you think?
Yeah, our two systems, so we've gotten some of the most snow in terms of big cities across the country this year, or actually technically last year. I'm going to make that switch in my head. And the thing was, we had some strong southerly winds after every single time, and it melted fairly quickly a lot of the times with this snow. But what's crazy is that we are just on different sides of the storm system. They're getting snow. We got some freezing rain, and now it's just been rain. I want to show you the weather maps this afternoon and evening because I want to show you the difference. So just to play along with me, Milwaukee is located right here in southeastern Wisconsin. And so, of course, right here, that's where we are. in northeastern Ohio, and you see the center of the system is right in between us, and so it really depends on where these low pressure systems exactly track to determine what actually you get. So when you're on the colder side of the system, of course, you're getting the snow. We're on the warm side of the system where that warm front continues to push across Ohio, and so we've just been dealing with rain, although sometimes this morning we had some freezing drizzle, and there were some slick spots a little bit earlier this morning. Some of the heaviest frozen precipitation took place towards the south in Mansfield and Ashland, east towards Worcester, Akron, and Canton. We had a little bit in downtown. Some of the Christmas decorations on the public square got a little bit of a coating. Now, as we press forward throughout the rest of the evening, we're still getting some light rain right now, but now we have to watch on the back edge of this system. You see all these light, scattered, remnant rain showers that are going on in parts of Indiana, extreme western Ohio. Well, they're headed right towards us, so we're not out of the woods yet. The heavier rain is now pretty much past when you look a little bit closer. And now we're just dealing with the drizzle. This is a loop actually over the past 6 hours. Notice how at the start of the loop, you have a lot more colors. You've got the pinks and you got the blues. That's showing you that mix of some snowflakes and some sleet and some freezing rain that we had. But over time with those warmer temperatures, we switched over to completely just rainfall. And temperatures have bumped up. Now that we're above the freezing mark, we should be pretty much safe. And temperatures are really not going to move very much throughout the overnight hours. A lot of us are going to still have the same temperature by the time you're waking up tomorrow morning. I think that keeps us safe. So we're going to have some drizzle tonight, but it should just barely stay in the liquid category. So hopefully not too many slick spots tomorrow morning. So keep that in mind. You can see just over the next 12 hours, the temperature really is not going to budge very much. And that's just thanks to some easterly winds that we have out there right now. Tomorrow, though, we'll have a westerly wind. That's going to help kick the system out. There may be a few sprinkles in the morning, but I do think by the afternoon, we'll clear that out. And then we still will probably have a decent amount of clouds and maybe a few sun peaks for the lucky ones of us across northeast Ohio. Sunset, of course, about 5:08 tomorrow evening. Here are the high temperatures for tomorrow. We're going to try to get back into the upper 30s, so we'll go from maybe mid-30s to upper 30s. We're just not going to change very much over time. Sunday is a much more interesting day. I want to show you what's going to happen over the next 48 hours with our National Zymar hour-by-hour forecast. So this evening, still but a light rain. The heavy rain has pushed on out. We're just going to deal with this misty drizzle on and off throughout the rest of the evening. And I think by lunchtime tomorrow, that's where you're looking. You're looking right at noon tomorrow. Most of that will clear out, but we're still pretty much socked in with the clouds. There could be a stray sunbreak here and there. By the time we get towards Sunday, though, that's when our next system will arrive. It'll come in with a mix of rain and snow showers. Our temperatures are going to be right in those mid-30s, and we'll probably stay that way all Sunday long. And so we'll be watching for more slick spots on Sunday with some maybe minor accumulations here or there. This is not a big monster snowstorm or anything like that. And temperatures right next to the freezing, so some of us are not going to get snow the whole time. Some of us may actually get some rain showers, maybe some sleet once again. As we head into the first full week, though, of 2021, you're looking at the Union Home Mortgage 7-day outlook. Things are going to stay in the 30s. We may have some flurries here and there, but to be honest, there are no big systems headed our way so far. Other than Sunday, you could call that a system coming through. But other than that, guys, not much headed our way except just a lot of clouds, Romney.
All right. Sometimes all we like is stability. There was no surprises. Thanks, Matt. Laura?
For sure.
Well, imagine being able to see 1 minute, then waking up the next in the dark. That's what happened to a Lakewood woman. Lindsay Buckingham shares how she embraced her blindness and created a successful business.
I didn't think I had my glasses on. So I grabbed a pair that were in the kitchen and I went to put them on and they hit the glasses that I already had on.
It was March 1st, 2014, when Jennifer Stringer, a single mom from Lakewood, would have her world turned upside down.
I went to the emergency room. By the time, like 2 or 3 hours, it was pitch black. I couldn't see anything.
A rare side effect to psoriasis medication. In the ICU for 9 days, panic set in.
I was like, what am I going to do? How am I going to support my son and myself? It was a huge shock, terrifying.
Her life now in the dark, but not her spirit.
I did go through my grieving poor me stage. I went through anger. But for me, I had to get up, dust myself off, and figure things out.
Over the next few months, some vision returned. It's blurry, and she doesn't see color, but remembers it deeply, like the beach glass of Lake Erie she admired as a young girl.
And I remember that I had that jar of beach glass, and I remember that I had wire. I'm like, well, I'm just going to play with this.
Playing, it was not. Jennifer's will and graphic design background helping her create jewelry line, I Spire Designs.
I had to say no to my disability, basically. I wasn't going to let it hold me back. To me, that's not living.
Soon, Her gorgeous creations featured at trade shows and festivals. Then came Etsy and social media. Business took off.
This year, with everyone shopping online, I've been busy and I've been blessed because of it.
6 years after going blind, Jennifer's burgeoning iSpire Designs, one of 5 winners of Amazon's handmade contest. She took home $15,000.
Didn't even think that I was going to win. So to say that I was shocked when I did is an understatement.
Jennifer's sight will never fully return, but she will always have a vision.
You're stronger than you think. Don't give up. Don't get stuck in the cycle of self-pity. You have to get up one day at a time and move forward.
Lindsay Buckingham, 3 News.
She is amazing. And we know what you're thinking. Where can I find that beautiful jewelry? I'm thinking that too. We have a link posted on WKYC.com.
Coming up next on What's New, we have some winter fun ideas to keep you and the family busy over the holiday break. And what's new in food trends this year? Here's a hint. Plant-based cheese is on the list. And there are a lot of New Year's Day traditions out there, like this one in New York. They smash a peppermint candy of which animal for good luck? Welcome back. Before the break, we asked you a question. Laura, do you know the answer to the pop quiz? We asked about smashing a peppermint candy of which animal will bring good luck. Is it A, horse, B, cow, or C? Do you know?
I feel like, don't scroll up yet on the prompter, I feel like it is gotta be pig, because I think pig is good luck for, ding, ding, ding. Okay,
You're
that's right.
I'm impressed. I did not know that. I have to look that up more to figure out where that came from, but that was an excellent guess. Congratulations.
Thanks. I love hearing that bell.
I'll give you another New Year's resolution.
Okay.
I'll give you another resolution as your prize. All right, well, right now it's time to see what's clicking in Cleveland. And for that, of course, we bring in our digital anchor, Stephanie Haney. Hello and Happy New Year, Stephanie.
Happy New Year to you too, Romney, and Happy New Year to everyone at home. How about we start off 2021 with some fun, right? Well, what better way to do that than with Laura DeMarco's Winter Fun Guide? Here's one idea. The Cleveland Metro Parks Winter River Fest. It's got ice skating, light displays, a beer garden, and fire pits. That's along the Cuyahoga River in the Flats, and it's open through January 18th. And you can go tobogganing at the Strongsville Metro Parks. Be like our Austin Love and Jasmine Monroe and race a friend down twin 700-foot toboggan chutes. That's open until early March. You don't need snow, but you do need reservations. Check out WKYC.com for so many more great ideas from our contributor, Laura DeMarco. And it is the first day of 2021, and a lot of people use this day to jump off making life changes. So we asked those of you that make resolutions, how long you keep those resolutions. So far, most of you say you're lucky if you last a week. And on the opposite extreme, in a very distant second, all year long. But not Cindy Zhang. She's exceeding our poll expectations. It's been 2 years since she has had orange juice. Cindy, I don't know what you have against orange juice, but I do commend your consistency. And Carol Jennings is going the other way. She's not making any resolutions because she says she gave up too much last year. I think a lot of people are feeling that way, honestly. Romney, I know you have your reservation to do new things, your resolution, to do new things, and you've been stacking them up from Laura for the entire show. Any other resolutions, or is that it for you?
Well, I was going to try axe throwing this month, but tobogganing sounds like it might top that. So I'm thinking January tobogganing, February axe throwing, and then March, I'm going to try candle making. So I've already did my research, and they are COVID safe, socially distanced. So my first quarter is pretty set, Stephanie. What about you?
That sounds perfect. You know, I have personally never been a resolutions person, and I think especially this year, it's just kind of asking a lot of us. And that's actually the theme of my 3 Things to Know podcast this week, which drops tomorrow. I've got a life coach coming on. It's kind of the anti-resolutions podcast. She's going to give us tips on how to avoid burnout from just everyday life and the things that we've just been going through. And Romney, I'll be with you tomorrow early morning on The Go Show with a preview for that.
Dark and early, not bright and early, dark and early. Thanks, Stephanie.
All right, thanks, ladies. Well, a new year comes with new trends, even when it comes to food. So today we're talking about 3 of the big food trends to expect in 2021. And for that, we, of course, go to the experts. Taylor Freeman is an Ohio-based lifestyle blogger. She starts us off with our first trend, and that is snacking.
I think with 2020 releasing with snacking, people were at home more and they're kind of at their desk at home and they're also near the kitchen. So they wanted to grab something on the go really quickly, just going back and forth between different rooms. I know, especially for myself, I've seen my snacking go up. So I think that's kind of why snacking. It's just good to go while you're at the home and not making full-on meals if you have like your family at home and different things going on. So you can kind of focus on both.
And while snacking is on target to stay on the upward track we saw in 2020, people are also weight conscious, which brings us to the second trend. Everything old is new again. Foods that are keto diet friendly.
Just with the keto, especially with these brands over here, it's another quick option as far as a snack. So it's really important with your keto diet that you're staying carbless and hitting your macros. So these are great options as far as when you want to stay carbless on the go, but also hitting those macros.
And if you're not deep into keto land, macros is a term short for macronutrients. Basically boils down to dialing in the right combination of protein, fats, and carbs, that sort of thing. Now, the type of stuff you really should talk to a doctor or nutritionist about, that is it. So let's move on to the third trend, trying new foods that are good for you and also the environment. That means more plant-based foods. We've heard of those impossible burgers with plant-based meats. Well, now companies are making plant-based cheeses too.
Especially right now, people are really wanting to have brands or food that are good for themselves and the environment. When you're thinking of like vegan cheeses, you might think that they don't fit the dairy requirements, but these do heavily as far as taste, texture, and meltability.
And we want to thank you, Taylor, for those great tips. You can follow her on Instagram at Sin City Chic. All right, Romney, this makes me laugh a little bit. It's a little different, but I mistakenly bought cashew cheddar cheese. My husband loves cheddar cheese, and I bought a few packs, threw them in the fridge, didn't even think twice, and he tried it and he couldn't do it. But I am open to a lot of those ideas that Taylor has, even if my husband isn't.
Look, I'm always down to try something new, but as someone who really likes cheese too, I might be with you. I like cashews and I like cheese. Cashew cheese, I don't know, but I will try it. I'll try it.
Well, listen, I have a few bags left, so I could always bring them by. Romney, thanks. And next for you on What's New, 2021 has this zoo animal feeling oh so good. It is ahead in our Show Us Something Good. Then on What Matters Most at 6, beating the odds. An Ohio man survives a health scare only to take on a new venture in the middle of a pandemic. Why he's hoping to inspire others. And also, here's a live look over downtown Cleveland as we head to break the first day of 2021.
Welcome back. We always like to leave you with a smile, and today's Show Us Something Good comes to us from our friends at the Akron Zoo. Take a look at your screen. This adorable gazelle was caught jumping all around his habitat. I think it's pretty safe, Laura, to say that he's jumping for joy that 2020 is over and we woke up with a clean slate, positivity in our spirit, and love in our hearts. 2021, starting the year off fresh, and if I had that much energy, I'd probably go run a mile too.
I think so too. And I could just watch that over and over. It's very calming, but you're right, looking ahead. Romney, thanks for being with us tonight. And we want to thank you for watching What's New. I am back with Matt Standridge for What Matters Most, which starts right now.
2021. Out with the old, in with the new. The changes coming to Cleveland and Northeast Ohio with the new year. New Year resolutions.
You can't have it all. Like you have to pick and choose what pieces you actually want.
Tips to be more productive this year and how you can accomplish your resolution goals. Overcoming adversity.
90% of people who go through what I went through don't make it.
An Ohio man survives a health scare. Now he's starting a new adventure in hopes of inspiring others. And Primetime Spotlight. Ohio State takes on Clemson in the Sugar Bowl. What the Buckeyes need to win this one and head to the national championship.
From the WKYC studios, this is What Matters Most.
Good evening to you and Happy New Year. The sign in Times Square says it all. We are now in the year 2021. Many of us so glad to see 2020 in the rearview mirror. I'm Laura Caso. Russ is off tonight. We begin with, as we all hold on to hope of returning to a pre-pandemic normal this year. We're also going to see changes here in Cleveland and Northeast Ohio. Changes that will affect us in ways both big and small. Mark Namick looks at what's to come.
Cleveland. It drives the region from the look of our lakefront and airport to the employers who call it home to how we live and play downtown. 2021 will test the leadership of the city as voters potentially replace Mayor Frank Jackson after 16 years in office.
Without substantive and sustainable institutional change, we will never become a great city.
His leadership already drawing criticism and potential challengers.
If you don't know how to do things, then get out.
New census numbers will force the size of Cleveland City Council and others to shrink, limiting our accessibility to government. Change of leadership also coming to the Greater Cleveland Partnership, the region's most influential business group known for driving the renovations of stadiums and public square. The group also behind efforts to woo political conventions and companies like Amazon. Ohio's grace period to renew an expired driver's license or registration ends July 1st. Plastic bags won't disappear